Good morning. My name is Charlotte Lenore Michaluk. I grew up at helms of sailboats, from reclaimed lines stranded on littorals, fibers passing through my fingers on passages I wove as my intuition developed for how a ship responds to wind and seas. I became dry suit scuba diver certified in Arctic waters and was repeatedly awestruck by the beauty and hazards of the ocean. I grew up reveling in seals that had returned to the New England coast, curious noses popping out, playful content. Examining photos later, zooming in, revealed a different picture. The juvenile I imagined peaceful was actually trapped in discarded polymer line, starving. Stream sampling shifted from excitement at rarely seen fauna to pining for bygone taxa richness. The lush forest where I played revealed secrets, invasive understory, infested trees. Our world seemed like that seal. On the ocean, I became aware of dangers beyond storms. I saw the magnitude of cargo shipping. Even when not hidden behind the horizon, the massive bulk of these quarter-mile-long behemoths with house-size engines is difficult to comprehend. The world's oceans are a hive of fossil-fueled commerce, estimated to move 90% of global trade, from raw materials to finished products. According to the Yale School of the Environment, combustion products of heavy fuel oil travel hundreds of miles, leading to roughly 7.6 million childhood asthma cases and 150,000 premature deaths annually, in addition to climate change impact. Despite efforts to make fossil fuel deposits stranded assets, petroleum fuels will likely remain relevant, and with them, the heavy fuel oil byproduct which finds a use powering cargo ships. Marine heavy fuel oil engines are a mature, low-cost, and reliable technology. So like the ships they power, this energy source and technology has immense inertia. Beyond fossil fuel-based propulsion, there is infrastructure that is shaped by cultural values. Untangling this requires solving overwhelming wicked problems. So much has to change. Understandings of freedom, economic ideals, the ghost of manifest destiny, and a fundamental human need to feel secure. This means that while we develop long-term solutions and new generations of clean energy infrastructure, short and medium-term solutions that work with technological and societal inertia are also essential. We cannot wait to reduce emissions. Technology that can be retrofitted into existing economic and political structures can be especially valuable for generating a more immediate positive impact. For the past 4 years, I have been developing the Active Vortex Scrubber Sail, a 3-in-1 cargo ship propulsion, seakeeping, and exhaust scrubbing device that makes wind power and sulfur regulation compliance more economically desirable. From helms of sailboats, I expanded to free-decay plots and Laplace transforms. I feel the hull moving as I derive equations of motion for an oscillating writing moment. The wave pattern of the Atlantic Ocean moves the center of buoyancy of my second-order mathematical vessel. The MPC algorithm adapts. Rotor sails, elegant and powerful wind propulsion cylinders, are over 100 years old and do not require construction of new ships for application. With modern composite materials and control systems, they are more stunning than ever. My design provides auxiliary wind propulsion, recaptures unused shipboard volume, and enhances crew comfort and ship efficiency, balancing interests of ship owners, ship operators, public health, and climate change mitigation. The approach emphasized here is to design for density of functionality, to leverage common ground by being positioned as a point of intersection between diverging interests, embracing ideals of space and resource efficiency as a pathway to incentivizing adoption of environmentally beneficial systems. Moving up the fractionating column from fuel oil to naphtha, which is a feedstock for plastics, we see the same business model for fuels and single-use plastics. Extract material, extract profit, consume, pollute. As an upcycler, I work to shift the petrochemical paradigm to cycles of creation and metamorphosis. Snack packaging and frayed fishing nets are raw material for tactile woven sculptures. I created an unfettered color writing script, allowing discarded materials and language to intersect, forming a medium to discuss environmental and social topics, weaving tensions and contradictions into art. I call this script Aklan Sayunan, from my constructed language. The active vortex scrubber sail and Aklan Sayunan are similar in that they both represent the search to put as much meaning onto something as possible so that we can shift our perspective to be more conscious of resource allocation for our current and future generations. We can write about environmental and social topics using the material items that reflect them as we develop a strong and nimble lexicon of environmental consciousness. Tahivekler amuj for the ofsna in alajitoj uf lifiawip anleves. With a writing script comprised completely of color and independent of form, we can give poetry a role in the circular economy and add density of functionality to items deemed no longer meaningful as a symbolic and tangible opposition to disposability. Now let's talk about sharks. But first, context. Climate change and invasive species are major global issues that permeate almost all aspects of society. Biofouling, the attachment of organisms onto a surface like cargo ship hulls, is at the intersection of these wicked problems. Scrubbing species off ship hulls can be expensive, and ablative hull coatings have been toxic and damaging to marine ecosystems. At this point, we need to solicit help from other species. From computational fluid dynamics and experimental data, I found the right specialist to call in. The shortfin mako shark, Isurisacsiringus. Shark skin is covered with tiny tooth-like structures called dermal denticles that enable the shark to swim fast, avoid biofouling, and reduce energy expended. The denticles disrupt the boundary layer, creating small, turbulent vortices which reduce drag. While human engineers tend to think on a macro scale about fluid mechanics, sharks approach the topic at a micro scale, providing a completely different solution. There is so much we can learn from the world around us, and the distressing thing is that we are losing biodiversity faster than we can appreciate it. Economies recover after downturns. Corporations can be restructured after bankruptcy. Species do not recover after extinction. Once they are gone, their value is rendered permanently irretrievable. For me, the prospect of wicked problems underscores the importance of embracing collaboration, a diverse society, and diverse sources of knowledge, especially for successful retrofitting to our current established systems, and leveraging common ground through high density of functionality. Each contribution is essential, whether it be from an ant colony or an economist, a child, or a shark. With globalization and time-space compression, the world is a sailboat. Confined space, precariously balanced between sky and sea, demands thought behind every action. Words like kindness and helpfulness are often spoken. On the water, they are tested. Wind and waves strain hull and rigging. Fear and discomfort fray social fabric. But we can strengthen that fabric. When it comes to solving the intractable problems related to stewarding our planet's ecosystems and resources, we need all hands on deck.